Hey guys, this is Dardamus with Dardamus Dominions, and I'm back again with Geldavir. How are you doing, dude?
Another wonderful day in paradise.
And Chronograph, how are you doing?
Quite good.
Now we are moving into turn 13, and we have a message from Mictolin. Chronograph, can you read it for me?
Am I about to get wrecked by this undead bastard to my north? His god is still on our borders, and now they're even more undead. Goddamn blood vengeance bastard.
Okay.
Probably yes.
And then the next one is going to be from Asphodel. Geldavir, can you read this? Oh my goodness. You know what? On second thought, if you want to read this, you could read it between the. I'm pretty sure that we can all guess what he is talking about with his turn happening 2 turns ago. So yeah. Okay. Where is the commander in this province?
It's not there. It's dead.
Okay, I have a question. Is this on the border with Asphodel? It is not. Oh, I bet his pretender killed this last turn. So he got the commander, but then died.
That's pretty sad.
Do barbarians berserk?
Nope.
Yeah, so shouldn't all the barbarians have routed last turn?
Not if they, So the ones that were running away, the barbarian captain might have bled out after the battle ended, and B, the ones that are running away, if they have to run through the bowl, will try to attack their way out.
Yep, and then, if I remember correctly, the bull was asleep, and so they weren't able to run past the bull.
Yep. And...
Okay, oh, there it is. Because he's routing, if he does kill the last commander, it won't matter. I think that's how it goes. I think only one...
No. If the last commander routes and the barbarians actually rout off the field, he will... but his god doesn't die? No, so, okay. So my bet here is that somewhere around here we've got a barbarian chief.
He retreated.
Yep, he retreated.
Oh,
okay. So
wow.
I think what happened was that the last barbarian chief got off the battlefield like the turn his god died or something really unfortunate.
Oh my goodness!
We didn't start seeing the Indies a routing message.
Wait, is it not here? Not here. It's not any of these guys either.
Look for something that retreats near the end, but it's not actually that important.
This is absolutely... Well, I mean, it is to some extent because he's regenning. Oh, there he is right there. If he would have retreated a little bit earlier, then they would have stopped. Yeah, look at that. He's off the board. No, they're still staying around.
Right-click on the barbarians. Yeah,
I think it's the first army that retreats. I don't think that you need a commander after that point. I don't think that both armies can retreat except for turn timer. But I could be wrong on that.
You're definitely wrong on that. I've had it happen.
That's just really weird. I wonder what happened here, because that's really... If they would have retreated, I think he would have lived just through the regen. Which is hilarious. Dominions.
The other note is that, could we have a replay bug happening?
No, because it said, and we looked at it, all 3 of those guys died. I mean, it was no doubt. I mean, here it is. So yeah, really interesting. But yeah, Dominions, you are a cruel mistress. Oh, he lost, okay, to 53 barbarians. Does that look about right?
Still should have had, he should have had actual troops rather than sacreds in front of them for dealing with this. Things like those Indies. If you've got the lava warriors coming in from the side, and also it looks like all the lava warriors weren't actually blessed before the lines hit. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that aren't blessed there, so that's what's killing him.
God, that's really painful.
If these were all blessed, I think he would have come out with much fewer casualties.
But yeah, 53 barbarians that's gonna put the hurt on just about anybody. So once again, he's still expanding via assassins, which is really cool. And I don't think we have anything else of... Oh, ouch. We have a bump between Mictlan and Ermor. Now my question is, was this a... Yeah, this was a legitimate bump. He's gonna... So Mictlan loses this.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh boy. That's gonna be a
Kill his
bad...
commander.
Yes, this is gonna be a very bad... And then there was much sadness on the side of Mictlan. Do you think they would have won without the commander dying?
Yeah. If the Jaguars actually slammed into the Knights, they should have won.
Jeez. That's sad. Okay, he's Nava is looking for a second throne, interestingly enough. And what I'm really excited about is that Nava is keeping their eye on the prize and trying to actually win this through thrones. But even if he does, he's only going to have 2 thrones. I mean, should he be looking for a early war target, or should thrones be a priority? Galdavir, what do you usually look for? Do you secure thrones and then attack, or would you attack and then secure thrones?
I will try to get as much land around the throne as possible. If I can encircle one, that would be even better. For the most part, I feel as if you should, depending on the game state initially on this and how easy it is for you to get access to thrones, I would definitely prioritize thrones, because you might get extremely lucky and luck into say crystal throne that you can grab on like turn 4 or 5, which will significantly change how you play your game. Or it could be any other number of thrones that will allow you to change up the game.
What's really interesting about this strategy is that his first war, he's not going to have as much money. Say if he goes to war with Abyssia, he won't have as much money. And while the Crystal Throne may help him, I don't think that the research is going to be enough for him to be able to really recover. I don't think the Crystal Mages are going to be worth the troops he lost. But if he, sits around and plays Sim City, that's definitely an option. I mean, at what point are you okay with losing troops that you might need in a first war? Karagraph, how willing are you to lose troops to like a throne early on?
Generally, I'd say I'm reasonably willing. What turn are we on at this point? It's like 14 or 15?
I think it's 13. Yeah, 13.
13. This is a little early, but like, Naba doesn't really have a lot of better things to be doing. Naba's win path here, he's not going to war with Relay. He doesn't want to go to war with Ermor. He doesn't want to go... He's not heading across the narrow isthmus there to deal with Katis, right? And deal with Katis's toxic dominion. And there's no way he's beating Abyssia to his south early. Especially if he's seen what Abyssia's bless is. So yeah, I like the idea of securing your borders and trying to get what you can. Again, as a particular note, like, he secured the Crystal Throne. If he can get like 3 or 4 S2 Earth 2s up, that can also make a huge difference in like a year 2 war.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. I think that he has a good matchup against Abyssia, and I would like to do some tests to see if that is correct or not, especially with these Desert Warriors. I think that those things are wonderful at breaking up Abyssia's formation. They also, because he's doing these slow blesses where he's blessing multiple people rather than doing an H3, it could break up the formation while he's casting, and it might even stop some casts, or it might make it where he doesn't hit all of his guys with a bless. It's also going to isolate his sacred so that he's going in one by one, and these big guys right here can probably chop him up. I'm really hoping that we see a war between these two, because I mean, I agree that there's a potential that Abyssia can win this matchup, but I think that Naba actually has a fighting chance.
Can you look at the damage on an Adite Elite for me for a second?
Hold on just a second. Pretenders, maybe. Maybe. 23
So they're
damage.
hitting at 23 slashing damage, right?
Mhm.
The Abyssian Sacreds are at about 26 after their buffs. Sacreds.
These ones right here. Yep.
Plus, they're having the fate weaving on them, which means that they are just completely going to annihilate the Adites, I believe. And yes, in this battle, honestly, he's messing this up. If you find one that is, here we
This
go,
guy's gone berserked.
25 prot once he's berserked. Plus, the fate weaving adds an additional 3 to 4 when that procs. And the fate weaving is against MR 16, which means that the Adites are going to be failing it most of the time. I think the Adites mostly cannot scratch the Lava Warriors. I agree there. Using an H1 and blessing the way he did, it's not going to do great things. But if Abyssio actually goes to war, he should be bringing his Priest 2s and his Priest 3s.
Okay, Galdavir, what's your take on this? Nabah versus Abyssio with his current bless. What do you think, dude?
I think that Abyssio will run Rush Shot over Nabah because Nabah has fire and Abyssians are naturally fire resistant. So that's their initial main mage power knocked out unless they start bringing in the cap only sacreds to remember if they are air 2, and so they'll be able to do lightning bolt, but that's 2 turns worth of cap production versus however many fire resistant troops that Abyssio can pump out. I don't think that Abyssio or that Nabah will be able to win this up unless he gets very creative.
That's another thing I have a question about, because they do have they can easily cast these air elementals. Yeah, it's 4. And it takes so these guys can cast air elementals, and I don't know what Abyssio can do against air elementals.
Mostly Abyssio will hit them with fireballs. But yeah, the air elementals will do a lot of casualties to Abyssians. And that's why I say that Abyssio wants to have the war happen early. It's not it is entirely possible that Nabah is not rushing Conjuration tech. And if they're not, they won't have the air elementals, and then they won't be able to help.
If they're not going Conjuration, they're making a mistake. I very firmly believe. Because fire elementals would deal with Mictolin, and air elementals would deal with these guys down here with Abyssio. But yeah, it's all theory crafting at this point. Until these two go to war, I have to send them a message and tell them that for the viewers, we need a war.
Well, I'll note that if Abyssio waits much longer, Nabah will have the mages in the tech to deal with them. But I believe they've said that they want to go to war with Nabah, so...
Yeah, that's right, he did. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, so we're gonna hopefully get a war. They read our minds. Oh my goodness, Mictolin is so he has unfortunately ran into 2 undead horsemen that have killed, what was it, 10 of his sacreds?
It killed 1 commander, and then all of his other stuff died in retreat.
So what does this mean, Galdavir? Why is he making such a big deal of quickness versus blood vengeance?
As he says, Mictolin is a vast nation of priests, and if you have 45 holy ones casting banishment out to 3,000 undead chaff without the benefit of blood vengeance to kill off those priests, you're going to lose all of your chaff, and especially against Lictor, or especially for your sacreds, if those banishments hits, and depending on which banishment Mictolin took, a holy or just 1 priest will be able to wipe out a small raiding force if the chaff can block. And if I remember correctly, the province defense for Mictolin, the commander they get, is a holy one as well. So it'll make raiding very difficult if Mictolin will pump gold into province defense.
What's interesting is I've not heard one person say that this new Quickness Bless is the way to go.
It's just too expensive. It really is. I mean, Water 10 and Magic 3, I mean, you'll have the points on your Pretender in order to create the Quickness Bless, but you really do want Blood Vengeance on there because it is a good I don't want to say disincentivizer for priest and holy spamming, but it's a very good defense and it'll let you trade more effectively.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that it was a mistake to go with this, and I'm hoping to see that he's actually hit some success in it. But for right now, and like right now, it does seem like he is rolling. Let's see what else that Mictlan said to us. Galdavir, can you read this one?
Talked to the Ermor player after this, and he basically said that he got to it first, so it's his, and if I want it, then I should offer things. Yeah, blank right. I'm gonna let him hold that. I told him that I'm taking it, and that and it should be war.
So
sorry, go ahead.
No, you keep going.
At this point, I would see if whether or not he can pull Relay into the war with Mictlan, or not Mictlan, with the war with Ermor, because Relay versus Ermor, unless Ermor has been mass producing ghouls, those Mind Blasters will just absolutely rip apart Ermor.
Also, Relay has access to some of the best Holy Communions in the game.
Also true.
Oh.
Get your hands on a Holy 5, like 5 Holy 5s.
We need to get Pangea's player in on this because he has been permanently vanquished and he is done. So, Asphodel, oh my goodness, look at this. Asphodel has written us a shorter message. Chronograph, can you read this for me?
As I feared, I lost a nature path on the Pretender. This is a major blow to me since now I can't grow forts and forests until I get an N4 from a pan or construction 4. Time to recruit some pans. I want some eventually anyway, but this hurts. Yeah, I mean, the last 4 messages that we've gotten from Asphodel have all been, oh god, I fucked up.
And like, at some point you want to give up, but you still need to keep on fighting. I'm very impressed with his attitude of I've just got to find a way. But I mean, at this point, he hasn't even fought his first war, and he's already lost or near lost the game.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Asphodel is a snowball nation, and he currently doesn't have a snowball to be pushing downhill on other people's heads.
Yeah, it's reached. What's that? Go ahead.
Asphodel is a snowball nation, but it's a snowball uphill.
Yep.
Into heat aura.
I was a big fan of Asphodel in Dom 4, but they have so much weaker in Dom 5.
They gutted.
Galdavir, can you read this one?
From Fascia. Okay, fingers crossed, this is finally the end of Pan. Made a deal with Abyssia to have a nap and a future war with Nabah. Ooh, that's some good information right there. When he is ready and he gets Nabah's cap, also potential for future trades with nature from Pan's cap for his fire, good for Lantern generation later. Nabah is going to be my next target unless Atis gives any trouble. We'll probably also try to take the throne from southeast before Asphodel. Things are looking okay-ish.
Okay, so he says he's attacking the cap this turn. Let's go into the Nabah. Okay, so obviously we have a new prophet. Chronograph is a Malika. That's one of the Slota recruits, right?
I believe it is one of their thug options.
Why do you think that he made one of those as his? Yeah, one of these as his prophet.
Yeah, so, one, it flies. Which means he now has a flying Holy 3, which is great because you really need Holy 3s where you need them now. The other thing is that, because it is now a prophet, it is, self-blessing, which means that, with the paths that these have, they are can be quite nasty thugs, depending on what bless he has, and even to some extent without them.
I think he doesn't have a bless or
take,
very little.
Yeah, I would take a Malakov versus arbitrary amounts of province defense anytime.
Yeah, we're not going to see a bless from this group. Okay, so it's looking good in that regards. Oh my goodness, 44 light infantry. That's a lot. And Abyssia...
So I want to note that's not as many as you might think, because they're only 20 gold to pop. Their light infantry are actually pretty good. This is funny, though.
Way to go, Pan, on their last turn. Birdies go up. And... Wait, where? Oh, there he is! Oh, there he is! It's just one of them!
It looks like he got a crit of some sort there. Because that was a lot of damage for an 8 damage claw.
Oh wait, no, it's not this one. Okay, so it just
8 plus 9.
It wasn't even that much. It's just the slashing damage and the lack of protection.
Yep. Good enough.
Oh, what a great last turn. Okay. Hey, we got the Great White Bull back, and he's once again risking him on the front.
I mean, to be fair, Bakemono and with support is a much different deal than Barbarians alone.
Fair enough. Okay. And this is what I thought. I didn't want to watch this because this was foregone conclusion. It just Pan didn't have anything left in there, and it's just this was already done. But what I do want to focus on is where is it? This one right here. Okay, so they've went underwater, but it's not in relays territory, so that's not a big deal whatsoever. Do you think that Ermor might be trying to go underwater at all? How is Ermor underwater? Geldavir, how are they underwater?
Natively, Longdead are not very good underwater. I would be extremely surprised if he decided to go underwater up against Relay without a way of protecting against mass mind blasts, considering that ghouls cannot go underwater like normal Longdead chaff.
Now,
a free underwater... Sorry.
No, keep going.
A free underwater province for them is just a free site. I don't quite remember whether or not if Ermor's Longdead chaff will spawn underwater. If they do, then it's just a free fort that no one but Relay will be able to get into, and just free spawning, and then let alone the Dominion that you can be pumping out from there, although you do get reduced Dominion spread chances going from water onto land. So them getting access to one, pretty decent for them.
I don't believe they get access to underwater forts.
I think you're right, but I think for him, it's free money. Like, this is 56 gold per turn, and Candles have a difficulty going from land to water, so his Dominion shouldn't eat this quite as fast.
Yeah, although, as a note, it's surrounded by Asphodel's Toxic Dominion and Ermor's Toxic Dominion, so it'll still get dead pretty quick anyway.
One more thing I want to note is that this is a big army, despite... Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest army he has, and supposedly he's making threats at Mictlan, but it's over here on the Sitis border. We also have a little army here, although this doesn't have lictors. What is he doing over here?
I mean, he could think he can take both of them at once. I think it is actually somewhat reasonable at this stage of the game as Ermor, particularly since I believe he has his Lictor summoning up, to think that he can kill 2 players at once, particularly smaller players like Katis and Mictlan, who are not super well set up to deal with the sheer number of stuff, particularly with the casualties that both of them have had during expansion that Ermor can throw at them.
That is a really good point, that they both are nations that did not expand quite as well as I think that either player wanted to. And Ermor's now, I mean, I think you're right. I think he is going to try to take both of them on at once. And this should be really interesting. Unless maybe Relay gets on board. I'm pretty sure Asphodel wants nothing to do with this.
Yeah, Asphodel for sure wants nothing to do with this. They'd be happy to take some land on the edges, but Asphodel really needs to be going to war against someone who can give them gold, and that's sure as hell not Ermor.
Maybe we'll see an undead power alliance between Ermor and Asphodel will go up north to go punch around Nicklin.
That's a very good point.
I would be very willing to do that if I was Asphodel. You don't really want to get into a protracted war with Phaecia because, again, you need to be snowballing, and you're not snowballing if you're defending your coasts constantly from Phaecian raids. And so Mictlan is kind of the last person that Asphodel can go fight. And this would also encourage me to think that part of why Ermor is so comfortable dealing with Katis potentially in an offensive fashion, if they're expecting, like, as soon as Mictlan is moving forces up to attack Ermor, they're about to get stabbed in the back by Asphodel.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a huge... I mean, if Asphodel could come over here and take just this right here, that would give him the 2 forts that he needs, as well as a ton of gems, a ton of money.
Asphodel keeps talking about needing to grow forts, but honestly, they're just better off taking other people's.
there's more than one way to skin a cat, type of thing. You can also go steal somebody else's forts, and like
their forts will be better than the ones Asphodel can grow themselves and not cost gems.
And none of this looks like I don't. Well, maybe this is Asphodel's. Okay, I have no clue. Yeah, so this is all Mictlan's Dominion too. So this is all going to be. I mean, it's free money for him.
It's free real estate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So let's move on to turn 15 and see what ends up happening. Because I'm really interested. Yep, there we go. Nothing much is really happening, but I do want to know what Asphodel's new plan is. Galdavir, could you read this for me, dude?
I thought Abyssia was going back on their border agreement with positioning of those lava warriors, but they didn't attack that cave province. Mictlan wants me to jump in on Ermor, but I have to consider other attackers too.
I mean, Galdavir, do you agree? Should Asphodel be attacking Mictlan, or should they be jumping on Ermor?
Asphodel should be going in on Mictlan. Like I said, the Undead Power Alliance will be very useful. I think that Ermor will be able to swallow up Satis if Satis hasn't been pumping out their Holy Three Lizard Kings. And then between the two of them, they could go either, if I remember correctly, Abyssia and Ermor share a border, and I know that Asphodel and Abyssia share a border, so they mop up Mictlan and Satis, and then they turn on Abyssia, and then it's just that undead rule the world.
It is a really interesting that he's not even contemplating the idea of attacking Mictlan, because I think it's a great idea. Okay, so let's see if there's any fights. Just some PD that was pumped up to 10, not much, and then another Indy 6 PD. 6 PD, and it looks like Satis, and I did talk to the Satis player, and he said that he knew this attack was coming. In fact, I did the interview with him, I think it was a week ago that I did this, maybe even more than that, and he knew that this was coming, and he is preparing for a defense at his capital. So a little bit from Satis, he's planning on withdrawing into his capital, and he's got it. You can see he moved back here, and he'll be into his capital next turn. This fight, who do you guys think is going to put your bets down? Who's going to win, Ermor or Satis? Galdavir, what's your thoughts?
I think that Ermor is going to lock them up in their forts for a long time because they don't have the research in order to make storming forts very effective, especially, once again, if Satis has gotten a Lizard King, which, if I was bordering Ermor, I would definitely have at least one Holy Three shacked up in all of my forts, just because they'll be able to just rip apart any chaff that try to block up the fort entrance, especially considering that he doesn't have a blood vengeance in order to make that a not viable option. So I think Ermor is just going to take all the land and lock him up and wait to see if Satis will bust him out.
Of note, these empoisoners here. What is this guy, Kara?
It's a nature death assassin. These are very good at assassinating because they will summon skeletons on your face and can also swarm on your face depending on what you're against. But they're not going to be trying to poison the Ermorian legions to death. That doesn't work so well.
Do you think that he could assassinate the Ermorian leaders?
Oh yeah, for sure. Particularly if he has dust to dust, which if you knew that this was coming, he should. And Dust to Dust will instant one-shot basically all undead commanders.
Well, I see one really big weakness with this army. Just one.
It's only got one commander.
Yeah.
If you take out the commander and then you hit the rest of it, the rest of the army is just going to disintegrate. They don't even retreat. They just poof, gone.
And what's funny is that I'm pretty sure Novell has talked to people about his strategy before, but he keeps on doing this where he only brings in one commander, and if you watch, he always has it in the back with. Oh, I guess this time he actually. No, I bet they go forward. Watch this. Yeah, there they go, and he always keeps them just right on an island right out here. And if you can somehow get around, maybe flying or something like that, he just completely assassinatable.
Yeah, I mean, so K'tis doesn't have much that can do that, but K'tis has enough death mages that, particularly, we go back to the Ermor having quickness rather than blood vengeance. If you just go take a look at the Dust to Dust spell, it is real cheap, real easy. I believe it's under Thom? Yeah, there he is. Real easy. 22 armor negating damage. No MR check. AoE 1. Good range. Just blows up an undead dude. And if you've got, some Death 1, Death 2 mages coming in, they can just spam cast this, and it doesn't matter if your lictors have a ton of protection or if your knights have a ton of protection and extra hit points from the Undying. They are one-tapped. Gone.
Another thing that I really like is Chronograph. It seems like he was listening in and has taken your advice of Sobak Warriors.
Oh, thank God. So in particular, Elite Warriors are a very bad matchup into Long Dead because, as I mentioned previously, Elite Warriors are good for trading favorably. You don't trade favorably with Long Dead. Any trade that Long Dead are making are going to be favorable to the Long Dead, pretty much. So you really do need things like Sobex to just grind into the massive undead hordes, and you just try to make sure that you kill the Sacreds and that Ermor has before they can kill too many of your Sobex. Because the Sacreds will chew through Sobex.
So I have a question for you, Galdavir. Let's say theoretically Satis is able to hold this off and is solely able to push Ermor back with the help of Mictlan. Nobody else joins up whatsoever, just the two of them, but they slowly push Ermor back. Is Satis still able to win the game knowing that they've lost this much time fighting against an enemy that they're not going to get any money and probably not that many gems?
Without the intervention of another player, I don't think that Mictlan or Satis are going to be in a position to win the war. Like, it just depends on how protracted long this war is, without a decisive strike to be able to come in, because time always favors Ermor unless there's a mass intervention. Especially in regards to if Ermor can. Because I've done this, I've seen this done before, where Ermor will just take a little bit of territory and they'll just bring in some just cheap priests and just put their dominion just on the border, just kill off that land, and then slowly keep pushing forward, just to make it even less viable for Satis to be able to walk into their lands, especially in regards to Mictlan.
That's
Yeah, I
fair
mean, the
enough.
one note there is that Satis has plenty of nature mages to feed their armies, so that's a little less effective against Catis in particular. But yes, it's not a great time for Catis. I'm pretty honestly, at this point, I think Catis and Mictlan and obviously Pangea and Asphodel and probably Abyssia are all out of the running for winning the game. The players that I still think have a shot at it are Ermor, Relay, and Naba, and I wouldn't bet on Naba given what we know about Abyssia and Fascia. So I think I would personally favor Relay for winning this game at the moment.
Galdavir, who are your top 2 players right now? Top 2 nations in the game right now?
I'm going to have to disagree. I think that Abyssia can still push through, and it depends on how their war with Naba goes. If he feels confident enough, he might be able to push off Abyssia, or not Abyssia, it's Abyssia, but he might be able to push off Fascia, and then maybe he'll be able to fight Relay off of the land and contest those 2 thrones. But I think that for the most part, you're right. It's probably going to be between Relay and Ermor, if only just because Ermor has a better long-term prospects than Asphodel does, and then Abyssia is just a solid nation to go with.
So, if you want my opinion, I think Abyssia is in front right now. They've got the most land. They need to transition that into mage power, though, as well as a blood economy. But if they can get their blood economy online and get their mage power online and their research online, I think that they can start filling gaps that their bless has, which are pretty formidable. That being said, I don't know what they're going to do about Fascia and Relay because they just don't go underneath water. I think that Ermor has made a mistake in targeting. They targeted Sakanate, who is a very good player, and even if he does go down, he's not going to go down without a fight. And I think that Ermor is going to have a difficult fight ahead just because of who they picked. But at the same time, I haven't been keeping up with the turns. So, guys, I do want to thank you, Galdavir, for joining up with us. Thank you so much for doing that.
No problem.
Chronograph, thank you very much again for joining up.
Yeah, happy to.
I am really excited about this game because it looks like either way, I think you could make an argument that any one of these players is still in the game with the exception of poor Pan, who is sadly out. So, guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.